On November 28, 2025, the Israeli Defense Forces, IDF, released a series of images and video footage depicting an operation carried out by Israeli soldiers in southern Syria. The footage, which was made public by the IDF, provides a snapshot of the military's ongoing efforts in the region. The images showcase soldiers allegedly arresting individuals as part of a broader operation, with the sound of gunfire audible in the background, adding to the tension of the scene. The images start with a wide shot of the operation, showing what the IDF claims to be soldiers interacting with suspects in southern Syria. This footage provides a clear visual of the military operation, which reportedly took place in a region that has been a site of numerous Israeli military activities in recent years. The soldiers are seen engaging with the individuals they have detained, highlighting the operational nature of the mission. The next shot, a medium shot, shows one of the detained men raising his hands. This action is interpreted as a gesture of surrender, likely indicating that the man was complying with the orders of the Israeli soldiers. The individual's body language suggests that he was fully aware of the presence of the troops and was not resisting arrest. The image of a man raising his hands has become an emblematic moment, symbolizing the high-stakes nature of military operations in conflict zones. Further tracking shots follow, showing Israeli soldiers moving through the area. These tracking shots are important as they provide a sense of the soldiers' movements and operational strategy during the operation. The footage implies a coordinated effort to detain individuals linked to groups that Israel has deemed a security threat. These shots give the audience an idea of the strategic flow of the operation, with the soldiers appearing to work systematically through the area to apprehend the targets. As the footage continues, a distinct sound of gunfire is heard, signalling that the operation was not without its challenges. The background sound of gunfire suggests that there may have been moments of confrontation or resistance. While the IDF has not elaborated on the specific circumstances surrounding the gunfire, its presence in the footage underscores the tense and volatile nature of military operations in the region. The IDF has stated that the operation was aimed at apprehending individuals with alleged ties to Islamist groups operating in the region. While the specific identities of the detainees have not been disclosed, the military asserts that those arrested were involved in activities deemed hostile to Israel. This aligns with Israel's broader strategy of targeting groups it considers a threat to its national security, including those operating in Syria, which has been a flashpoint for regional instability for years. The IDF has not provided specific details on the number of individuals arrested during the operation. However, it is clear from the footage that the mission involved multiple suspects. As is often the case with operations of this nature, the exact number of detainees, as well as any potential casualties, has not been revealed. The footage does not provide conclusive evidence of the outcomes of the operation, leaving many aspects of the event open to interpretation. The Israeli military has long maintained a policy of carrying out operations in Syria against groups that it believes pose a direct threat to its security. This includes targeting individuals with alleged connections to Hezbollah, Hamas, and other militant groups that operate within the region. In addition to airstrikes and other forms of military intervention, ground operations, such as the one depicted in the newly released footage, are part of Israel's broader strategy of combating what it perceives as a growing security threat on its borders. The region of southern Syria has been a particular focus for Israeli military actions in recent years. This area, which lies close to the Israeli border, has been home to a variety of groups that Israel considers hostile. These groups often operate in the shadows, with many of them linked to broader regional dynamics involving Iran, Hezbollah, and other actors in the Middle East. Israel has frequently cited the presence of these groups in Syria as a justification for its military interventions, asserting that their activities pose an existential threat to Israel. As the video footage unfolds, it becomes evident that this operation is part of a series of ongoing Israeli military actions designed to target what Israel describes as terrorist elements in Syria. The fact that the IDF chose to release the images and footage suggests that it intends to underscore its military strategy in the region, and perhaps send a message to those it deems a threat. The release of these images can be seen as an attempt to justify Israel's actions to both domestic and international audiences, as military operations in foreign countries are often subject to scrutiny and controversy. The sound of gunfire in the footage is likely to fuel ongoing debates about the nature of military operations in such volatile regions. The presence of gunfire implies that the operation may have involved moments of intense conflict, raising questions about the level of resistance encountered by Israeli forces during the mission. Whether these moments were part of a coordinated defensive response by the suspects or the result of other factors is unclear, but the gunfire indicates the risks associated with military engagements in conflict zones. The situation in southern Syria has been further complicated by the involvement of various regional and international actors. Israel's military operations are not taking place in isolation, as the country's actions are closely monitored by Syria, Iran, and other regional powers. These countries have repeatedly criticised Israel's operations in Syria, with some viewing them as a violation of Syrian sovereignty. The region remains a key flashpoint in the broader context of Middle Eastern geopolitics, with Israel's actions often coming into direct conflict with the interests of its regional adversaries. Israel's military operations in Syria are often carried out under the justification of self-defense, as the country seeks to prevent hostile groups from establishing a foothold near its borders. The threat posed by these groups is often framed in terms of their potential to launch attacks against Israel or to destabilize the region further. In this context, the IDF's operation can be seen as part of its ongoing efforts to safeguard Israel's security interests in a region that remains highly unstable. While the images released by the IDF offer a glimpse into the operation, they do not provide a complete picture of what transpired on the ground. Key details, such as the number of suspects detained, whether any casualties occurred, or the broader strategic implications of the operation, remain unclear. As is often the case with military operations, official statements from the IDF and other involved parties are limited, and much of the information surrounding the operation comes from official reports and the released footage. The broader context of Israeli military operations in Syria suggests that this is not an isolated incident, but part of a larger, ongoing strategy. Israel has regularly conducted military strikes and ground operations in Syria in an effort to prevent the entrenchment of hostile forces. These operations have included airstrikes targeting weapons caches, the destruction of military infrastructure, and efforts to dismantle militant groups operating along the Israeli-Syrian border. As of now, the situation in southern Syria remains highly fluid, with the potential for further military actions. Israel's military is likely to continue its operations in the region, as the country seeks to maintain its security posture in the face of perceived threats. However, the ongoing presence of various hostile groups in Syria, as well as the involvement of regional powers such as Iran and Hezbollah, ensures that the situation remains complex and fraught with risks. The release of the images and footage by the IDF has brought renewed attention to the situation in southern Syria, underscoring the ongoing tensions in the region. The Israeli military's actions are likely to continue to be a point of contention, with critics questioning the legality and effectiveness of such operations, while others argue that Israel is justified in taking steps to protect its security. In conclusion, the Israeli Defense Forces' operation in southern Syria, as depicted in the newly released footage, is part of the broader ongoing efforts to target what Israel perceives as threats in the region. While the operation may have yielded some detainees, details about its broader impact remain unclear. The situation in southern Syria remains unstable, with the potential for further escalation as regional tensions continue to simmer.